24/7. 24/7.
Bold Moves Radio.
Bold Moves Radio.
Africa, nakupenda sana. Oh, Africa.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Mandla Aventina waka Mabunda, and the show is called The African Experience. And yet again, we're promising you an interesting African night. Figure yourself sitting under the African skies, listening to a legend who will take us through his journey. Remember, the objective of the show is always to inspire an African child to find their purpose and change their dreams and change the world around them. So today, just like every other day on this show, we are promising you inspiration galore. So good evening to our guests. How are you this evening?
I am doing great. I am so blessed. Good evening, people of God. I am so blessed. You know, it's not a right, it's a privilege. And I just want to really appreciate God for this great opportunity. Thank you so much. Thank you.
No, beautiful. I like that. It's not a right, it's an opportunity and it's a privilege and it's a blessing. I love that. So going straight into it, please tell our audience who Osita or Sike is in a nutshell.
Thank you so much. Ositadinma Osieke is a gospel artist that was given birth by the inspiration of the Holy Spirit. I can remember when I was a kid, I was told by my mom that before I was born, there was a prophecy that was upon her life that she's going to have a son. And that son is going to be a tool in the hand of God. And eventually, after 7 women, then I eventually came. My mom has 9 kids. I happen to be the only son out of 8 women. And I happen to be the second to the last. So the prophecy was fulfilled. And since then, there has been this unquenchable hunger to uncover my true identity, even when Osita ventured in other things. But still, there was this call, there was this longing of retracing my true identity and discovering my true call, my true potentials while I was sent to the earth. And it became so clear in 2001, that was where I discovered what my purpose was. And it's to serve God through music. So that's who Ositadinma is. That's just a brief summary of who he is.
No, quite interesting brief, I must say, quite interesting. You know, on this show, we always have people coming and saying something, and it seems to me you are attesting to that. They will always say, when we ask them about their journey, how it started, they always to allude to what we have now coined as a godly idea. So most of the people that we're profiling on the show will tell you, no, this thing has always been ordained to happen like this. I've always known, or my mother told me, or my grandparents told me. So it seems like it sort of goes with something that makes someone stand out and be unique, finding that purpose. So tell us a bit more before we move on. The name Osita, is there a particular meaning to that? What does it mean?
Wow. First and foremost, based on what you just said, because of the call and because of the purpose, there will always be someone that has been informed or someone that has been told. There will always be a foreknowing of or an information to let you know through somebody that this is who you are, this is why you have been called. So that's why you will always have the scenario of either your mom, either your pastor, either somebody that is close to you, or even a random person will come to you and tell you, no, there's something I see upon your life, because God will always reveal it to somebody. And the name Osita was actually given to me by my mom. It's a prophetic name that interprets the call of God upon my life as a child then. based on the prophecy that I was going to serve God. So the meaning of Osita means from childhood, I became great. From childhood, I walked in God's path of greatness. So that's why it is called Ositadinma. From childhood, I became great. So that's the
Ah,
interpretation of the name.
oh
Yeah,
wow. So from childhood you became great,
yeah,
Osita. Oh wow, that's so powerful. That is so, so powerful. It's
yeah.
so powerful. So growing up, now you have this prophecy on your life. And I like how you confirming that it was revealed to someone else who confirmed that. Because now we do meet people who would just say we prophesy, inverted commas, but the prophecy is never confirmed by two or more people, because isn't
Mm,
it that has to be confirmed? So I like that you're saying that someone else, confirmed that this is so walking in greatness. That is beautiful. So growing up, did you know, or you always found yourself in situations which required you to serve God in one form or the other? Did you know as a person growing up as a child, or did you just find yourself doing stuff that was serving God at the time?
well, the first benefit that I enjoyed, based on your question, was my dad was a pastor when he
Ah,
was alive. My mom, too, was a pastor by the grace of God, you know. But fortunate enough, I lost her this year, but she served God diligently. And apart
mhm,
from that, she was in the choir. My mom was a good singer. So literally from childbirth, I was dedicated in church because
mhm.
my story was like the story of Samuel. When my mom, Samuel, Sarah longed, Samuel's mom longed for a child.
Yeah.
She she so desired a child that she had to enter a covenant with God. That even the priest took note of what was happening, because you see, when that craving for a spiritual intervention becomes so pronounced that you can no longer hide it, people around you hear the groaning, even when you're not even aware that you're groaning in His presence.
Hmm.
So that was the same thing that happened when my mom was trusting God for His son. And even in the groaning, and she made a covenant that when you give me this son, I'm going to give it back to you. So my other name is Samuel,
Mhm.
Ositadinma Samuel
Yeah.
Oseke. So I grew up in the church in the knowledge of who God is
Mhm.
and understanding who Christ is and the price that was paid for my sake. So the journey of becoming who I am today in the knowledge of Christ
Mhm.
began from my family tree, as my dad was a pastor, to my mom and my siblings that were so dedicated to God. So it became
Mhm.
easy for me to follow suit.
Oh, wow. That's so powerful. So were you walking all over the place? They send you to the shops, you singing all over the whole community know that you want someone to sing? We've got the person for you. Was it like that
You know,
growing up?
funny enough, I didn't really start with singing. God gave me. I used to be a soccer player, and the whole community knew me as a soccer player. Like, there's no way you mention Ositadinma, they will say, "Oh, we know him," because I was
Yeah.
very known, and I thought I was going to make money with soccer because I was
Yeah.
naturally gifted. But it was in 2000, the year 2000, that it became very clear
Mm-hmm.
that God was showing me a glimpse. God was showing me a glimpse of what is the future is going to be like, what the gift is going to, how the gift is going to attract people,
Mm-hmm.
men and women of all classes and ages. And
Mm-hmm.
apart from that, there was a divine switch in 2001 from soccer to music, because I could
Mm-hmm.
remember I was in a waiting period of prayer because I was asking God, what is my purpose? Like Jabez, I was like, Lord, I want you to enlarge my territory because I want you to bless me so that I can have a better understanding of why you called me. Because I've been told that you called me, but I want to know if this is who I am or if I'm living somebody's dream. And I can remember that afternoon as I was praying, I saw myself in a trance where I was ministering in a massive stadium that was crowded with people. And I saw myself singing. And I was standing there, but I saw myself singing. And I couldn't understand it. It happened in a flash. That was the beginning of the journey. That was the beginning of the journey so far. From that day, I started writing songs. From that day, I told my mom, this is the vision I got. And she said, God just confirmed what he told her when I was born.
Wow. Wow. Wow, that's so powerful. Now, I want us to backtrack a bit. There's something that you've said so powerful about spirituality, having a relationship with God, and having a revelation around your purpose. Now, what would you say to parents today, regardless of where they're coming from? What would you say to parents, especially young parents, who are giving birth to children regarding that and connecting that to the future of your children? What would you say to parents?
Every child that is sent to this earth, it doesn't matter how the child came, every child has a purpose. God wouldn't have allowed the existence of that soul if that soul doesn't have a part to play. It's either the soul has a part in shaping the destiny of the world so that the name of Christ can be exalted, or the enemy will take advantage of ignorance from either the side of the parent to capitalize on the destiny of the child. Before a child is given, God entrusts the child to the parent so that the parent can be able to guide. That was what happened to Jesus. When he was being sorted for, he was busy in the Father's house. When he was 12, ministering and listening to the elders. When his parents were looking for him, he told them that, why are you worried? This is why I was sent to the earth. I am about my Father's business. Until we understand that as a parent, irrespective of who you are the first wine that determines how far your child goes and the impact the child will have in the future in terms of destiny. You might not have control over what the child might become, but your foundation plays a vital role. So I would really say to parents, find, listen, discover your child, because every child comes with one gift or the other, which is very obvious when you look at your child, what they like doing, what they find interesting, even as toddlers. It gives you an insight what to invest your time and energy on. So, but we find out that a lot of people are ignorant.